Good day, this is Jeff Rouse checking in again from Our Story Studios, and look who stopped by to see me.
Hi, Jeff. I'm Rich from Midwest Garage Door here in Fairmont.
I know you. I think you put a garage door in for us, didn't you?
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, glad you stopped by. And you know, Rich, we just got done shooting an episode of Martin County on TV. Would you like to see that right now?
Sure.
Let's take a look. I have some very special guests with me here today. Bob, would you do the honors?
Sure. I brought Joe Grout, my store manager, and Daleen Prindle, assistant manager, and helps with all of our volunteers at the store.
Well, wonderful. Welcome aboard to both of you, all three of you. Bob, share a little bit about the organization and what you do.
Sure. I'm the director at Options Pregnancy Center. We're there to help women and guys with pregnancy-related issues here in the community. We're a nonprofit, and a number of years ago, we recognized a few issues that we had. One, some of our clients needed more than just baby clothes and maternity clothes. They didn't have any furniture, or they didn't have other clothing,
Sure.
pots and pans. And the other thing is we needed a source of income for our nonprofit. So we ended up opening up 12 Baskets Resale. Met some of our needs and met some needs in the community.
Well, I'm very familiar with 12 Baskets, and as a regular customer, the inventory that you have there is outstanding, and you have a lot of product. How did this come about?
Apparently there was a need in the community. We have never advertised for donations. We opened our doors as soon as people heard we were opening. The donations started showing up at the back door, and they just have never stopped. And it's just unbelievable. This time of year, we actually have off-site storage just for some of the extra furniture that comes in at this time of year.
Very, very cool. And I see you quite a bit when I'm there. So tell us a little bit about what you do and your position with the company.
Been the store manager at 12 Baskets now for several years.
Okay.
Really. And basically, I'm there to oversee the operations, make sure everything runs smoothly, coordinate with Bob a lot.
How many employees? How many people work there?
Off and on.
Two different questions there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
How many work?
We deal with on-site employees, I'm going to say maybe 10. That
Okay.
sound right, Bob?
Yeah, about 10.
Yeah, about 10, but it's a revolving door as far as volunteers and other programs where we get assistance from the community and people just looking for something to do with their time that's beneficial and helpful.
Okay.
Gives people a sense of pride to contribute.
So these are volunteers?
Some of them, and then we also deal, another program that I work closely with is Minnesota Valley, which is NVAC. We have the senior workforce program, which has just been phenomenal, a phenomenal asset for us.
Well, when I've been in there, you can tell the people are enjoying themselves
Correct.
that are involved and working in the store.
And then we also deal with the summer youth program, and with the youth program, it's kind of interesting. I try and mentor some of the younger guys because there isn't a lot of help out there for the younger guys. Some of
Sure.
them are just a little bit lost sometimes, and they just need a little guidance. And
That's awesome.
then we also deal with the pregnancy program from the center where the girls come in. And since Daleen actually coordinates that program with Bob, let's go ahead and flip it over to Daleen and let her tell you a little bit about
Tell
that.
us.
Okay, so the work readiness program is linked through options. And what I do is I fill out their hired on paperwork, and then I basically mentor them, show them a good work ethic, and that way they have a prolonged job history too, so that they're not going like that 9-month gap without a job.
Sure. Do they is there a pretty big, in a positive way, is there a big turnover? Do people move on to other jobs? Do they stay with you quite a while? What happens with that?
Some move on to other jobs,
Sure.
some stay as home parents. Some are like me, and they stay at 12 Baskets. I went through the program myself and ended up where I'm at right now,
Very
thanks
cool.
to Bob Charnecki.
Very
Thank
cool.
you.
The big thing with us, our regular staff members, extreme loyalty. They bend over backwards for you, and that's unusual on a job. And the people that come in through the MVAC program and the youth program, it's always nice when I know they're moving on. We're the stepping stone, and if something's better out there for them, I love it, because then they come back a month later and they're happy to see you, and they tell you about their adventures in the job force on their new jobs. It's kind of touching, actually.
That is awesome. So you all are much more than just what we see when we go into
Absolutely.
12
There
baskets.
is, there
That
is
is
a lot
awesome.
more. There is a lot more, but once again, we would not exist without the merchandise that comes through the back door and the people that willingly donate to us.
So speaking of what comes in the back door, tell us about some of the product that we could expect to see if you went in 12 baskets. I know that's a big window. I've been in the store.
I've seen it all. And anytime I think I haven't seen it all, I just wait till the next day and something else comes through the back door.
That's awesome.
You never know what's going to walk through that door. We get our general houseware goods, kitchenware goods. We get unique things. And by unique, I mean things that I've never seen. And I'm a collector of stuff, but I pride myself and our store on the fact that we have more antiques and collectibles than a vast majority of the local thrift stores in the region.
Common for a lot of thrift stores and antique, or thrift stores mostly, they get high-end antiques or collectibles and they'll either sell them on eBay or they have another outlet at an antique store or something. We want them to be available for local collectors and local dealers. So everything, we'd have no eBay sites or anything, everything gets.
So nothing goes to online.
Right,
It's
it's
available
also-
in store.
Right, in the
That's
store.
cool.
And if just about any day you come in there, you'll see local collectors and dealers, sometimes in there 2 or 3 times in a day.
Sure.
Because they know we put all of that merchandise on the sales floor, and it makes a difference. Those people have also become kind of our friends, and they're our teachers. Joe will find something in the back room, have no idea what it is, and we'll go ask one of these guys. They can usually give us an answer.
Sure.
We want to meet the needs of people in the community that have needs. Clothing, basic furniture, pots and pans are all very cheap. You can meet your needs. And
Sure.
the collectibles and antiques, nobody really needs them, so we let those people actually pay the rent.
Absolutely.
So we charge a little more there, but they can cover our costs so that we can give to the community for people that need it. Besides the things we sell, and we sell pretty inexpensive, we give away between $5,000 and $10,000 worth of merchandise every year just for families that are in need. So we help them out with everything
Very
from
impressive.
clothing to furniture to
Very
whatever.
impressive.
And that's something that a lot of people in the community that even donate to us, they don't realize. We give back just as much as we take in. And we try to. We try and pay it forward. And by doing that, makes the world, in my opinion, a better place. It keeps it revolving. Everything stays in use. There is very little waste. We put things in the right hands. I try to put them in the right hands for people that are going to appreciate them and cherish them. And as Bob was saying on the antiques and collectibles, I know who our local dealers are and collectors, and it's always fun for me to see their eyes light up the same as I do when I see something neat, and I make sure it gets in their hands one way or the other.
Absolutely.
Because eventually, kind of like what Bob's saying, eventually in paying it forward, you give somebody a deal, they remember you. And by remembering you, in the future, something comes back.
Sure.
One way or the other, it always comes back. It's a revolving door.
That's incredible. And going in there, like I was saying before, you're always busy. It's well organized. It changes. The inventory changes. That's what I've always been so impressed. You know, for someone who goes in there quite a bit, I don't go in there and say, well, this is the same stuff I saw in here a week ago. I might go in there 3 days in a row and say, oh my gosh, look at all this. This is incredible.
They have somebody on staff almost every day just moving merchandise out, both on the hardline furniture, the pots and pans, the collectibles, and on the clothing side. So there's always new merchandise going out on the sales floor every day, all day. So it's not like we only fill the shelves on Monday or something.
Sure,
So,
very, very cool.
It keeps it going, and then twice a year, at least twice a year, we do massive sales, and we just empty the whole store and start over.
Wow.
So when anybody comes in and says, well, this has been here forever, I can usually tell them, no, as of this date, the shelves were empty.
Absolutely not true.
Right, and these guys handle that, and they do a fantastic job. They do a
Wonderful.
great job with
You
that.
know, we kind of talked a little bit about the hard line. Daleen is over in the clothing area a lot, and why don't we let her tell you a little bit about what she sees? I mean, we see brand name stuff come in.
Sure.
Go ahead, Daleen.
Yep. So we have a section that's green tag section, so that's the brand name or the new clothing that come through. So those are quite affordable as well, because we'll have like $78 items come in and they're like $10 there.
Wow.
So we also have our regular clothing with the regular racks, which is $1 for a top. For women's, $2 for men's, and the bottoms are $2. And that's very, very affordable as well. Bob
So
also
you're
puts
catering
on-
again to all the different needs of the
Yeah.
community or wants
Mm-hmm.
of the community.
Bob also puts on $2 bag day sales. So I mean, $2 you fill a whole bag.
Sure.
Excludes green tags, of course.
There's a sale every day.
Yeah,
So,
pretty much, pretty much.
Yep.
So and we have like the higher quality, because a lot of thrift stores, they kind of put out everything. We actually, if there's any rips, stains, tears, or anything, then those are disregard clothes.
Keep the
Clothing,
quality up.
you betcha.
And a lot of those discard clothes that she's mentioning, we do have places that they go to, but oftentimes those get sent overseas or to other missions and such things. So,
Bob, tell us how the name came about.
sure, we were looking for a name that would describe what we do. 12 baskets, if you're familiar with the biblical story of loaves and fishes, they picked up 12 baskets of leftovers and were able to reuse the leftovers. And that's exactly what we do at 12 baskets. We're picking up leftovers or unused items from our culture, our society, and making sure they get back into use.
Oh, perfect. You know, every time I've been in 12 Baskets in the last few years, I've seen you there.
You know, Joe's actually been there for almost 8 years, I believe.
Really? Awesome.
And he's kind of taken charge in the last 8 years, and he's taken over the management. And during that time, we have grown almost 10% every year since these two of these have taken over the store.
Wow, congratulations. That's very impressive. The atmosphere is always good in there.
Yes, it is. We try and present ourselves in a positive manner. We know a lot of our local customers, regulars, and even our people that I see for the first time. I try and send them out of there with a smile. If you come in without a smile, you'll leave with one.
That's awesome. Now, if someone wants to donate, how do they go about that process?
Really simple. We're located at 210, 212 Downtown Plaza in Fairmont, Minnesota. Just go ahead and pull around in the alley behind the store. Our hours are actually posted on the door with a list of what we do and don't take. If you have questions, you can always call the store. And I always have people there that can help you unload too.
Sure.
So if you got something heavy or just need an extra hand to help you unload so you can move along quickly, my guys are there.
You know, and when I've dropped off things before, I've noticed that. There's always somebody right there saying, how much you got, what do you want to bring in? And it's a fast process.
And we try and make you smile in the process.
Absolutely.
But anyway, you know, we also have a Facebook page.
Sure.
And for additional information, you can always look that up on Facebook. And I'm not a big computer genius, but Bob knows more about it than me, so I'm going to let him handle this one.
What can we expect to see on Facebook, Bob?
Sure, what you'll find on Facebook, we don't put a lot on there, but we do keep our monthly sales and any special sales that happen to come up during the course of the month. Like this past month, we just did an MEA sale that wasn't on our regular calendar, but we decided we needed to move some merchandise, and that popped up on there. We do a silent auction, and we'll post silent auction items on there from time to time. And our information about our store, our location, our hours are all posted on Facebook. Sure. And anytime basically there's a special announcement, we'll get it on Facebook.
Very cool. Well, I want to thank all three of you for coming in today. Very interesting. And I, even as a regular shopper, learned a lot more about your organization. Thank you all for sharing. And we invite folks to stop by 12 Baskets. I guarantee you'll be impressed. Well, look who stopped to see me. Alice, how
Ella.
are you again?
Yes,
So glad
fine.
you stopped back to see us. And Denise, haven't seen you for a while. It's nice to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Ladies, of course, I know what you do, and some of our viewers probably know what you do, Alice, because they've
I
seen you
hope
on the
so.
show before. But share with the folks who might have missed the other episode what you do
Okay.
and where it's at.
Our store, it's called Mixed Nuts Antiques. We're a multi-dealership shop, and our dealers take great pride in pan-picking and presenting vintage, unique, antique treasures. We have something suitable for every age, gender, and personal collecting style.
You know, I'm personally familiar with your store, which I love the store. Very awesome.
Good.
And you always have, like you said, a wide variety of different things. Denise, tell us about how you got involved with Alice and Mixed Nuts.
Well, my husband and I, we have been interested in antiques for 30 plus
Forever.
years. Yes. And we had been in a variety of different stores in the area. And we approached Alice one day when she had an opening in her store. So we decided to rent space from her. Now, my husband and I, we are lovers of anything primitive, stoneware, graniteware, advertising. That's just some of the stuff we have in our booth. And we love going to auctions. That's our vacation time.
Sure.
And we love going to flea markets so that we can find that special thing that somebody might love as much as we do, because I'm a firm believer I buy what I love, because if I have to live with it, I want to love it.
Absolutely. A true collector. I like that. A true collector. And the store presents itself very much that it's a passion, not just for the two of you, but everyone in their individual booth and what they represent.
That is true. And everyone who is there has a different style and taste. And so that's what I feel people are drawn to, is that we can have young, old, male, female.
Sure.
And
Perfect. Very good. Ladies, I see you brought some things along with you. Tell me what we have here.
That is called a dough box. It was actually bought in the Ohio area. I purchased it from an antique dealer friend of mine who travels that way quite often.
It's got metal corners.
It's got metal corners, but you will notice on the sides there is wide dovetails. Do you see that on the sides here?
Yes.
That's called dovetail
Okay.
joinery. It makes it looks older than it is older. I'm thinking that it is pre-1900.
Really?
I don't know for sure about the date. But what these were used for, if you can see, Jeff, there was the lid that goes with it.
Okay, grab
And
that.
what people would do when people used to make their own bread, they would put the dough in there to rise. And
Put it
if
in here and
people
put the
make
lid
their
on
own
it?
bread, they know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the bread will rise inside the box. And then they can take the lid, flip it, and actually roll out their bread on the lid.
I'll try it. Give me a second. See if we can do this or not. Okay, so we put the lid on like this.
Yes, and then the
Right.
bread would be inside.
Bread's inside.
Right, and then when you would need some bread, you would take the bread out, put it on the wooden top or on the cupboard, and you roll it out, make
Flip
biscuits,
them.
make bread. Yep, just like that.
Uh-huh.
Wow. And this, you think, is turn of the century?
I'm thinking it's probably earlier than that. It has the original red paint. It's now people don't make bread anymore, at least not in those types of things. You have the bread machines. So now people, what they use them for is they'll put them on their tables. They'll
Okay.
put magazines in them. They'll use them for other purposes, mainly for decorating reasons.
Okay.
You will find some that actually have legs, and those are used quite often for additional work surface in your kitchen.
Okay.
People, I've seen them used as islands, a small island, especially if you have a small kitchen. Now, one like this, it's even got the mouse chew.
That's why I turned it around. What the heck is this?
That's a mouse chew. Yeah, it got somewhere where there was mice. And
With
that's
bread
what I
in it?
love. I don't know. That's what I love about these, when that shows the age and it shows the character. And these are worth anywhere from like $250 all the way up to $1,800, which is kind of depends on what the wood is. the style, if you know who the maker is, the original finish. All these things play a factor in how to appraise something like that.
Okay.
But this one in particular runs around $250 to $300.
Now, is the mouse hole add to the value?
It does. That's what I say. You know, when like I said, we deal in primitives, and when you deal in primitives, the worse shape it is, the more it's worth.
You know, when I was a kid on the farm, we had some very valuable items. I can tell by
Yes.
seeing this mouse hole.
Yes.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing
You're
that.
welcome.
Denise. So, Alice, share with the folks some of the different other booths that are in your store that people might find interesting.
Well, I have Bill Bussey in my store, and you know Bill.
I know Bill.
Yes. And I would like to tell you about Bill's booth. In fact, Bill gave me a script to read about Bill's booth.
I have no doubt, but I'm sure it's correct and has many things of interest in there.
Right. And I would like to read it so I don't miss anything.
Good idea, Alice.
This booth belongs to Bill Bussey. Bill has a multitude of books of every kind. Juvenile series books such as Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, Bobbsey Twins, Chip Hilton, and others. He also has books on mystery, detective crime novels, along with gardening books, the classics, sports, and entertainment. While reading, visit his extensive collection of music. You will find records from classic rock to country. He also has men's footwear such as boots, sneakers, etc. You may even find a few other items in his booth, like Ken dolls.
So I understand, Alice, you brought something for us to see too.
I did, Jeff, and it's right down there beside you.
Let me grab it.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, so what in the world do we have here?
What we have is an
heavy.
ice cream mold. The ice cream molds were made in the 18th to 19th century, and as they say, you would open up, which I want you to do.
Open it up.
Open it up,
Okay, see if I can figure out how to open it up. Uh-huh.
and you would fill the mold with your ice cream, close it up again, and put it in a place to freeze. Now most of all of the ice cream molds were made out of a heavy metal, either cast iron or pewter, which help to keep the ice cream frozen.
So now you really can't tell what it is from the outside, but when you have it open, it becomes blatantly obvious it's Santa Claus.
Then you see that it is Santa Claus, and a lot of them were made for the holidays. There's a jack-o'-lantern one, there's a lot of bunny ones.
Okay.
And this one, like you said, has Santa Claus,
Love
and
it.
he's holding a bag.
Now, it is heavy.
It is
is
heavy. The thing that I want to stress is that these ice cream molds cannot be used today for their intended for that purpose, because of the metal that was used. It probably contained some lead in it.
Oh, yes. So it's strictly a collectible. A decorative collectible.
Yes. And for its weight, you could also use it as a doorstop.
Oh boy, and then some. What kind of value, Alice, does like this piece?
They can range anywhere from $150 up to thousands of dollars.
Really?
Yes, they can, depending on what the item is.
Well, I can see this on a shelf open like this looking pretty darn cool.
Right.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Very interesting, Alice. I bet you have other people have booths, do you know?
I certainly do.
Tell us about another.
Okay, this booth belongs to Sandy. Her love for antiques started at an early age. Her mother loved collecting, and it rubbed off on Sandy. She has never strayed from her appreciation of antiques. Some of her favorite items are primitives, very early cookie cutters, stoneware, Halloween, and other seasonal items, furniture, garden items, and whatever else strikes her fancy. stop by and see your awesome items.
Wonderful. Another great booth. And those pictures really showed off some unique items in there, too.
That's
I
true.
love that. Now, I know you brought a couple other things. I saw it right in my little corner over here concerning Halloween. Tell us a little bit about some Halloween items, and I will grab them.
Okay.
Wow, look at that. I love it. That's very cute.
What we have here is a paper mache jack-o'-lantern. And what Halloween items are very, very desirable, but they also are very minimal in the amount that is out there. And part of the reason is the early Halloween items were made of paper
So most of them didn't
products.
survive.
And as with the jack-o'-lantern, you see that he has his eyes and mouth kind of a candle was put in there.
Oh.
And so a lot of the early paper items burned.
Not really good planning, even though it looks good.
Right. But, each one of the paper mache jack-o'-lanterns all have a very distinctive face on them.
Okay,
And
now
so
what would you determine the year of this would be roughly?
I would say that is roughly pre-1920s.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's in remarkable good shape.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's got to be not only with what you were describing as far some of the problems for survival, but how many kids would be destroying this the day after Halloween or even by accident. I'm sure that's the case. Beautiful piece. Love it. And what else do we have here, Al?
Well, then you went into the 1930s and the 1940s, and you can give that a whirl.
I remember those.
And they went into something that would be a little more durable.
Sure.
And they went into the metal tin noise makers. And I brought
Beautiful graphics,
with
thank you.
graphics on it, yes.
That's very
and I
cool.
was going to say a lot of what determines the price of the noise maker is what the graphic is
What the
on
graphics
it.
is, I'm sure.
And
Those are
these can run anywhere from $8-9 and again up into the hundreds.
Very cool. So now, is the sound always about the same?
And its sound is always about the same. Yes.
So the fact that that sound has always been irritating is still a
Yes.
Can I cut in here?
Yes,
for
please
just
do.
a second? The reason why they all make that irritating sound, it was believed that that noise would scare away ghosts and goblins
Really?
And the devil.
and the devil.
I bet it did too. I bet it did too. Well, thank you. These are awesome. I love the graphics on those. Very, very cool. I want to hear about another booth. Denise, tell us about the next booth.
Judy has her own store also, which is located west of Fairmont on Woodland, if you go straight out of town that way.
Oh, sure. That
And-
just out, not
Yes,
too far.
Yes, Judy's Country Store. But she also has a small booth at Mixed Nuts. And she has a sampling of what she has in her store at Mixed Nuts as well. She's really into primitives and stoneware. They also have a lot of advertising, and quite a bit of it is local. So that's a good avenue if somebody is
Sure.
collecting advertising. She's been in business for quite a while, and she knows her stuff. So it's always good to go out there and visit with her, because she'll gladly give you any info that you're looking for something, and she'll help you out. But she also has a Facebook page. So go check out her store, go check her booth out at Mixed Nuts. We're good.
Wonderful. That sounds like a nice booth. You got some great booths in the store.
That we do.
Very, very cool. And I see I have one more item over here to show the folks. Who gets to tell me about that item?
Denise. will.
Congratulations. Let me pull this up because this is very interesting.
Isn't he cute?
It is awesome.
He actually, when I bought him, it was at an auction. And he was, you know how when you go to an auction, you get a whole box of stuff that you don't want for the one thing that you do.
Sure.
He was actually the thing I didn't want.
Didn't one?
I didn't want him. I am I'm sorry to say this, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm not into dolls, okay? But after I got him out of the box, straightened up his hat because he was pretty smashed, and I thought, oh, I just fell in love with his face. I had him for quite a while in my spare room on the bed. And I thought, okay, I can't keep everything. So I decided to take him to the store. I have researched this little guy. I really can't find anything just like him.
Right.
But I've gone by what other dolls in that era have gone for. We think he was made during the World War II era, 1940s. It depicts a military gentleman, obviously. Other than that, I have looked for prices to how to price him. They go anywhere from $35 all the way up to $300. Okay, I didn't know what to price him at. So why don't you come to the store and buy him, because he could be a $300 one.
Absolutely. Well, he's
I think he also has been in the war
Yes.
because he has
Yes, it's horrible.
he's been through the war himself. Well, he's in pretty good shape,
He
though.
is, for as old as
And,
he is. He's older than me.
The eyes are very interesting, and how they kind of
Do they follow you
move
around?
around. They're kind of eerie. It is very clever, very interesting, unique. Ladies, I have absolutely. This is why I wanted you to have you back. I knew you would bring interesting things, and you brought Denise with you.
well, yes.
So
I'm interesting too.
you're interesting too. That's why you're on the show. So I'm thrilled you stopped back again. Tell the folks where they can find you again. And do you have Facebook, website, and such?
I certainly do. I have a Facebook page. I am located at 222 South Grand Street, across from Fairmont Ford. My hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5.
Okay, and they can like you on Facebook, and I'm sure you post some things periodically on there.
Yes,
so
I
people
do.
can
I
see.
try to do it, but I need to update more frequently.
No, nobody ever has that happen. Everybody else is updating
Yeah,
every day.
right. certainly.
No, we all have to work on that. That's for sure.
But whenever I do,
Whenever you have the
put
chance, you
pictures
put up some
on,
cool stuff.
I get response. So
Absolutely. Hey, thank you very much, Alice, again for coming.
Thank
and
you.
Denise, I'm glad you joined us
Well,
today.
thank you. It was
This
been
has
fun.
been great fun, and we're going to have you come on again when you have some other exciting things whenever you want.
Well, that sounds good. I wanted to add at the end is that I'd like to say that our customers, our motto is our customers become our friends.
That is awesome. And you really do feel that when you're in your store.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, ladies.
Thank you.
Now, wasn't that a great episode?
Yeah, it's really nice.
Absolutely. And I want to thank you for stopping by. And as we share with the folks, the sponsors that made this show possible, remember, it's not just the past, but the present that tells our story.